Welcome back. If you've been to the grocery store or the gas station or anywhere where you literally buy anything recently, you probably noticed something, and that's that stuff costs more. And of course, there is a word for this. It's inflation. That's how economists refer to an increase in the price of goods and services. One of the ways we measure inflation is via the Consumer Price Index. Basically, economists look at the price of everyday things that people buy, things like groceries, gas, clothes. They bundle all of that together and they see how prices change over time. So in the West region, which includes Oregon, prices are up 6% from October of last year. So something that costs $100 last year might cost $106 today. And you might be thinking, that doesn't sound like a lot. And there's no way that gas prices are only up 6%. And you're right. Remember, 6% refers to the average for all prices in this fixed bundle of goods and services. But inflation has hit some industries way harder than others. Meat and poultry prices are up almost 15% from October of last year. It's something you might have noticed when you bought your Thanksgiving turkey. And if you bought a used car recently, you're definitely feeling it too. Those prices are up more than 26% from this time last year. And something we've heard from a lot of you, gas prices are skyrocketing, up nearly 43% since October of 2020. So the question is, why is this happening? And more importantly, how do we make it stop? So we asked Josh Lehner, an economist with the state of Oregon, what is causing this rise in prices? And, as you might have learned back in high school, if you were paying better attention than me, it has to do with supply and demand.
We're spending 15% more than we used to. And so that means our supply chains are struggling, not because they're moving record volumes of goods and delivering them to our doorstep, but we're trying to buy even more than we can deliver. And so that's one of the root causes. So it's really supply chain bottlenecks because the consumer demand is so strong.
Should have said paid better attention than I. I was good in English class. That's embarrassing. In other words, though, we are buying things faster than suppliers can make them and get them to us, and that's obviously making things more expensive. Labor is hard to find, materials cost more, and we all pay the price. So, how long could this last? Well, actually, Lehner seems cautiously optimistic.
Well, I think, we're going to see inflation sort of peak and come down. I think as those supply chain bottlenecks get fixed a little bit, certainly on the other side of the holiday shopping season, the question is, where does it ultimately settle, right? The Federal Reserve would like to see it settle at 2%. If it settles in that 2 or 3% range, I think, we'll go on about our economic lives. If it settles more in the 4 or 5% range, then we have an interesting situation where the Federal Reserve may have to step in and raise rates faster than anticipated to cool off the economy.
So that may not be much relief to you watching at home. Everyday things we all need to survive are more expensive, and we're all feeling it. But, we put a post out on Facebook just to let everybody vent a little bit, and we asked you where you've noticed the rise in prices the most. Brad said bread, coffee, I gaze occasionally. In the meat market, chicken and pork remain affordable, but beef, I won't be throwing a steak on the grill anytime soon. Yeah, we don't blame you.